The funniest joke in the world is the title most frequently used for written references to a Monty Python's Flying Circus comedy sketch, which is also known by two other phrases that appear within it: joke warfare and killer joke, the latter being the most commonly spoken title used to refer to it. The premise of the sketch is that the joke is so funny that anyone who reads or hears it promptly dies from laughter. The sketch appeared in the first episode of the television show Monty Python's Flying Circus, first shown on the 5th of October 1969. The joke in the sketch is made of a series of meaningless, German-sounding nonce words, and so does not have an English translation. Summary: the sketch is framed in a documentary style, and opens with Ernest Scribbler, a British writer of jokes, creating the funniest joke in the world only to die laughing. His mother finds what she believes to be a suicide note, then reads it and immediately dies. A brave Scotland Yard inspector attempts to retrieve the joke, with the playing of very somber music on gramophone records and the chanting of laments by fellow policemen to create a depressing mood. The inspector left the flat with the joke but also dies from laughter. The British Army wished to determine the military potential of the killer joke. Quote, "They test the joke on a rifleman who snickers and falls dead on the range. They then translate it into German, with each translator working on only one word of the joke so as not to be killed. The German translation is used for the first time on the 8th of July 1944 in the Ardennes, causing German soldiers to fall down dead from laughter. When ist.Das nonce geht Slottermeer, ja, Bayern das oder die Flipperwald Gersput." The German version is described as being over 60,000 times as powerful as Britain's great pre-war joke. The joke is then used in open warfare, with Tommies running through an open field amid artillery fire shouting the joke at the Germans, who die laughing in response. Afterward, a German field hospital is shown with uncontrollably laughing German soldiers in blood-stained bandages, being attended to by medics with stopped ears. In a subsequent scene, a British officer from the joke brigade has been taken prisoner and is being interrogated by Gestapo officers. The British officer uses the joke to escape as his German captors die laughing, with one German officer uttering a Woody Woodpecker-styled laugh before expiring. The Germans attempt counter-jokes. For example, film is shown of Adolf Hitler supposedly saying, "My dog has no nose," then a German soldier asking, "How does he smell?" with Hitler replying, "Awful." Eventually the best V-joke is attempted on a radio broadcast. Der Vers Peanuts, walking down der Straße und von Wasser salted, Peanut. Although the joke is followed triumphantly by the German anthem Deutschland über alles, the attack is ineffective. The British joke is said to have been laid to rest when peace broke out at the end of the war, and countries agreed to a joke warfare ban at the Geneva Convention. In 1950, the last copy of the joke is sealed under a monument in the Berkshire countryside bearing the inscription, "To the unknown joke." The English version of the joke is never revealed to the audience. The footage of Adolf Hitler is taken from Leni Riefenstahl's film Triumph of the Will. The section where Konstantin Heel presents the Reich Labour to Hitler is the source of the speech used for the joke. The first clip shows Hitler saying in Besonders keiner mehr in Deutschland leben wird, subtitled, "My dog has no nose." Quote, "In the film, the camera cuts briefly away from Hitler. The punchline of the joke is the next shot that shows Hitler's face. Awful." The original words are Schüler from Your School. Quote, "How does he smell?" is from a scene just before Hitler's speech. The original German is Wir sind des Reiches junge Mannschaft. We're the Reich's young men. Precursors. Robert W. Chambers' 1895 short story collection The King in Yellow has a recurring motif of a play which causes all who read it to go mad. Mark Twain's story A Literary Nightmare tells of a jingle is so catchy that, upon hearing it you cannot stop repeating it until you pass it on to someone else. The earliest known version referring to deadly jokes is in Lord Dunsany's 1916 story, The Three Infernal Jokes, published in the collection Tales of Wonder. The 1943 wartime story, Nothing But Gingerbread Left, written decades before by science fiction writer Henry Kuttner, has a very close premise. Rather than a joke, a marching song is used as a weapon against the German soldiers. Engineered by American linguists, it is by design such a catchy song that the soldiers cannot stop singing it, and eventually they can think of nothing else. At the climax, Adolf Hitler is ready to deliver a critically important speech, but begins chanting the marching song. A story that ran for several weeks in the Sunday comics of Lil Abner during 1967 concerned the creation of a joke, never actually revealed, that was so funny that anyone who heard it immediately died laughing. For safety reasons, government agents somehow decided to keep the joke hidden in the protective custody of Abner Yoakum. Meanwhile, comedian Bob Hope learns of the existence of this funniest joke in the world, but not about its deadly effects, and decides that he wants to recite it on his next television show. He procures the joke from Abner, and the government agents learn of this development too late to prevent him from reading it on national television. It turns out, however, that before Bob Hope obtained the joke from him, Abner had read the joke, not understood it, and substituted his own favorite joke. It is this joke that Bob Hope reads on the air, to no harmful effect whatsoever. The trope also shows up in the 1996 novel Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, except it is a film that has been weaponized. In other works, the sketch was later remade in a shorter version for the film and now for something completely different. It is also available on the CD-ROM video game version of the film Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. If the joke is entered into Google Translate, the service returns the message,